Hello everyone, I'm Mel, and today we are getting into the stop method. I love this simple mindfulness technique because it's amazing for helping to regulate emotions, making us less reactive, and improves our decision making. But even more so, this helps lay the foundation for navigating extremely difficult conversations and reaching a point that is mutually beneficial to both parties by helping you actively listen and just communicate better. And while you're here, don't forget to hit subscribe. Not only is it instant good karma, but it helps me create more amazing content for you and gives me an explanation to my mother for why I chose to go down this path. All right, so let's get into what stop actually means. It stands for stop, take a breath, observe, and proceed. Simple, right? Well, simple doesn't always mean easy, and that's because it requires us to practice, enforce our commitment, and face our discomfort with change. Not something we all love doing. All right, so let me paint a little scenario for when this practice might be helpful. Okay, you are in a disagreement with a loved one. It could be a friend, partner, sibling, parent, whatever. It's starting to get heated. Literally, you are starting to feel yourself warm because you're so frustrated. You feel cornered. They take a jab. That's not cool. Then maybe you take another jab. Also not cool. And then things just start escalating until you react and they've pushed you too far and you say something that you do not mean. Now, here is how you would put the stop method into practice. You're in the midst of a conversation. Maybe it's the middle of the argument. Maybe it's the beginning and it hasn't even gotten there yet. That's what we want to shoot for. You mentally stop and physically stop. And this means stop talking. This allows yourself to disengage with the conversation and momentarily pause the chaos that has or is about to ensue. Next, you'll want to take a breath. This literally helps you reset in the moment just by bringing fresh oxygen to your blood and your organs and just helps you collect your thoughts. So you want to take a deep breath in through your nose, count to a count of 4, exhale through your nose, count for a count of 4, and do that maybe a couple times just to recenter yourself. What this also does is it gives your mind a job that's different from what's currently going on in the conversation to focus on something else. And that means finding your clarity and your peace within that moment. It helps you just collect your thoughts in a productive way. Next is observe. So even if your mind is just a fraction clear, that's great, perfect, that's all you need. This lets you no longer be a participant in these emotions that you're feeling. It lets you be an observer. So maybe you're feeling anger, maybe you're feeling frustrations. This now becomes something that is not happening to you. This is something that is existing outside of yourself, and you can acknowledge it and bring awareness to that. And then perhaps you can find some underlying reasons for why you're experiencing this agreement and why you're experiencing these emotions. Maybe what this other person is saying is really triggering to you, and that's not helpful to the conversation. Maybe it's bringing up some old traumas and it's making you feel closed off and angry and reactive. That's not necessarily their fault, but it's bringing something out of you. Maybe you're getting defensive because a part of you knows that what they're saying is right and you're just not willing to admit that. It could be any number of things, but what's important is you're observing these emotions without any judgment. And finally, proceed. It would shock you at just how impactful it is to be aware of your emotions, especially in these heated moments. Because when we're angry or when we're frustrated and we're arguing with another person, we're not thinking about the what or the why about these emotions. We're just experiencing. We're on this crazy roller coaster ride. And practicing this method could be that difference between the fight completely escalating and saying things you don't mean and really hurting the other person, or realizing that, hey, maybe we need to take a step back and revisit this, both when we're calmer and we have a fresh perspective, or realizing that all the other person wants is to be seen and heard and understood by you. Practicing this allows you to find that space where you can communicate more effectively. Remember, this technique is meant to be practiced. If you don't master it the first time or it really throws off the other person because they're not used to you reacting that way, that's okay. With practice comes improvement, and ultimately it's like a muscle. The more you practice it, the better you'll be at it and find those desired outcomes in conversations. Good luck. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Be sure to check out my other videos around mindfulness, ego, breathing techniques. There's tons of good stuff out there. And be sure to drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought, and if you have any suggestions for things I should cover next, I want to hear them.